Carol of the Bells for soprano recorders, 3 parts. The top solo recorder part in 3/4 time. The first line of 8 bars is really just the same C, B, C, A. The thumb in the back always stays the same. C, B, C, A. And you do that 8 times. The second line is just E, D, E, C, but it's a high E. So the back thumb hole is half covered. So the E is everything covered except the last 2 with half of the thumb hole. And that's E. The D is just 1 finger back to the high E and to the C, which is the thumb and finger number 2 of the left hand. And that sounds like this. The E, D, E, C of the second line. You can do that 8 times. The third line has a high A, G, F, E, D, C, D, D, E, D, A. And that is measure 17, and that's 4 bars long. The A is a high A, so it's a regular A fingering, but a half covered hole with the thumb in the back. So it goes A, G, F, E, and all of that is a half covered thumb hole. So I'm just going to play that first little section, the first measure 17 and half of measure 18. I'm going to do that again. The rest is just D, C, D, 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 E, half covered thumb hole, D, A. I would practice this measure by measure. So 17 to the downbeat of measure 18, then measure 18 to the downbeat of measure 19, and then measure 19 to the downbeat of measure 20, 17, 18, 19, 20, yes. So I'd practice it like this, measure 17. And I would do that 3 to 5 times. Once I get that clean, I would continue, measure 18 to the downbeat of measure 19. And again, it's an E, half covered hole, D, C, D. Again, measure 18. And I would do that 3 to 5 times, clean. Then I would link them together, 17 and 18. Then measure 19 I'd practice by itself to the downbeat of measure 20. So measure 19 would be D, 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 half covered, E, D, A. And it would sound like this. And I would do that 3 to 5 times. Again, it sounds like this. 3 to 5 times, and then measure 17, 18, 19, 20 would just be A. And it's a full covered thumb, it's just a regular A. So measure 17 through 20 would sound like this. Measure 21, 22, 23, and 24 are really just 2 bars repeated again. So measure 21 and 22 is low E, F sharp, G sharp is cover the 3 of the right and lift up your left hand, finger number 3, that's a G sharp. Then A, lift off your right hand. B, C, D, half covered E, D, C. Again, it's low E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C, D, E, half covered thumb, D, C. Sounds like this. You can play it again. And that brings you to the last line, which is measure 25 to the end. It's really just a repeat of the first line. C, B, C, A. You do that 8 times, and then you have a little bit of an ending. E, D, E, and then high A. Your E and the A at the very end, the last 3 bars are half covered thumb hole in the back. So measure 25, and you do that 8 times. Your thumb is fully covering the back hole. The very last 3 bars are E, D, E, A, and half covered thumb hole, and it sounds like this. Again. So the entire solo recorder part will sound like this from the beginning to the end. 8 bars of C, B, C, A, followed by 8 bars of high E, D, E, C, followed by your third line, which has a lot more movement, and then your last line is kind of a repeat of the first line with a little tail ending. So it sounds like this from the beginning. E, R, san,